Life can be hard, and we've all faced those moments that seem to stop us dead in our tracks. But what if those moments of difficulty, the bad news, could actually be a springboard for something greater? I'm Cam Garvin, and each week I'll bring you stories of extraordinary resilience and conversations about lives and ideas that are productive. This is the Productive Lives Podcast. Welcome back. In part one, Dean shared his journey from teaching to tech and how he uses AI to stay productive. Today, we're hitting the heart of leadership. Dean shares his owner versus renter philosophy and the trap of the $10 task. If you ever reached a goal and felt empty, Dean explains why we must focus on who we want to be, not just what we want to do. I've listened to you. You taught at Catalyst, our leadership. I love setting the bar high and learning those things. And how does that help you to be a better husband, a better leader? Because we're talking leadership here. And some of the stuff you even taught this fall with us, if you could.
Yeah, I think, we always want to make sure we're living in the place where God has us the most. And we're all given gifts. My gifts are different than your gifts. Like you and I have had that conversation. Where am I gifted and can serve versus where is Cam gifted and can serve? And I think everyone who's listening to this, it's easy in our culture today to fall into the comparison trap of, oh boy, I wish I could be more like Cam, or I wish I had those skills that Dean had. That's not it at all. I feel totally blessed that God's built a path for me to get into a position where I'm leveraging the things I'm good at every single day. Like ever since I was a young kid, I was always the person who was I don't want to say taking charge in a negative way, but charged with leadership, charged with making sure things got done. We have a term internally. I stole it from my time at Apple called DRI, the direct responsible individual. And that person is not the person who has to do all of the work. They're the person who has to make sure that it gets done. Now, you can be, Cam, you're the DRI of Productive Lives in the ministry. You make sure, but we know that there are things that you're not expert at that you're going to rely on other people to get done, but you are 100% in the leadership role to make sure the vision and the mission is carried out. So to answer your question, like I feel like as long as I'm listening and understanding where God's got me on this path, then I'm doing what I need to do. And when it feels the most natural, I realize I believe I'm actually walking in what God's provision is for me.
Yeah, I call it like a sweet spot. You're in your sweet spot, using all your gifts, abilities, and talents. Yeah.
And you can feel when you're not.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's really hard.
You're like, and then leadership is all easy, but you're like, this is easy. Productive lives for me and my role has been easier in some other jobs. Same kind of skills and some other things I've had. But and I like what you said about leadership is taking the initiative. People go, oh, you're too bossy. You're like, no, I'm taking the initiative because nobody else is. Or with permission, your board and said, here, you're taking the initiative to grow the company. So I really like that. I think in life, everybody's a leader in some way. There's positional things they call you CEO or president, but you're a mom or dad, you're a coach, you're a leader. If no one's following you, you're probably not a leader. But if you're taking the initiative to improve somebody's life or do something or revenue in your company, you're a leader. Yeah. So I like that.
I think everybody has the opportunity to lead from where they are. The titles, somebody asked me the other day if they could change their title. Literally, like, I could care less. If that's going to help you get the next job, fine. My only concern or the thing I'm concerned about is, are you living up to what you're saying you are?
It's true. Yes.
The title doesn't matter. Are you leading from where you are? Are you taking ownership? Because to me, we talk internally about this concept of owners versus renters. I want to have owners on my team who want to own different aspects of the business or different aspects of the plan. And a renter, if you think about how you treat a rental car versus how you treat your own car, I think we can all say we might drive a little faster, we might put the brakes on a little harder, right? If you
All
think
right.
about how you treat things you own versus how you rent, that philosophy for me is really important because it's the mentality that you bring to the task. And I want a team of owners. Well, that's a
Yeah.
team of leaders. So
Yeah.
what's my job? My job is to build them into the best leaders that they can be. So I
Yeah.
look at
I
my
like that.
job 100% as building the leaders, building the team who can make the company. If I am stuck in the weeds of building the company, we will fail. I
Yeah.
build the people build the business. That's how we roll here at
I
Engage.
like that. That's awesome. I like also, and I think it's nothing's below you as CEO or as president of Productive Life, but you had a great illustration. There's some things other people can do. What do you call it? The $10 or how do you explain that one?
The $10 task, right?
ten
So
dollar
I,
task.
I shouldn't be spending so and it's tough because you're going to equate your value to real dollars, but it's true. So I
Yeah.
shouldn't be spending time on $10 tasks. There's people that I can hire who love doing those $10 tasks.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
shouldn't be
Right.
what I do because that's their genius. Let them have that. Let them work through those things. You could put dollar values on them. You could put skill values on them. You could put whatever value you want. I shouldn't be running payroll.
Right.
That's not my skill set. I shouldn't be taking care of accounting. Not my skill set. Now, could I? Could I figure it out? Sure,
Sure.
but
I'm sure you could.
not my skill set. So you want to surround yourself with people who complement you rather than anything else.
Yeah. So like staff on your weaknesses. Not that it's a weakness, you could learn it, but you're right. Why
Totally.
should I be doing that if I don't like numbers? Just tell me the bottom line. Do we have money?
That's
Can we
right.
move ahead? And
Not
I
my
think
area
back,
of expertise.
yeah, I like that. And I think so with titles too. And I've been in nonprofit world for a while and worked with business guys. They give you a title. I can give you a title. I won't give you any more money. So whatever title you want, excellent. Chief executive or whatever, you can do that. Yeah, I think starting out too is the titles are always like, what am I doing? It's like, well, what's your key result areas or what are your goals under there to get to that, what you're doing? Excellent. Anything else just helping people think through their significance or productive or goals? You've talked about some of that with our group, just
Yeah, I
having
think
specific
the
goals.
big thing I talk about with goals, and we do internally, I do every 2 weeks, I do what I call leadership lab, but
Mm,
it's a training for the team because, like I said, if my job is to build the team, then the team builds the business. Then what am I
mhm.
doing to invest in the team? So the
That's right.
leadership topic that we covered last week was the whole idea of building momentum with your goals. And if your goals are tied to specific physical things, like I'm going to lose this weight, or I'm going to get this car, or I'm going to buy this house, there's very little value in it.
Mm.
Those things will come and go. You'll reach it. I always tell the story of I wanted to run a marathon because I figured running a marathon would get me in shape, which would keep me in shape that what I would
Right.
become a runner. And the
Right.
reality is I didn't want to be a runner. I just wanted to lose 15 pounds. So I get to the end
Yeah,
of the
that's great.
marathon and I complete it and I can't walk for like 2 weeks because I'm just crippled from running this marathon. It's because the goal didn't define who I really wanted to be. What I really wanted to be was a fit guy.
Right.
The activity didn't help me get there. So tie your goals to your identity. Who do
Yeah,
you actually want to be as a result of doing the thing that you set out to do?
that's good.
That to me is far more important and it's more long lasting because the goal will come and go. I'll
Yeah,
accomplish the thing, I'll make the money, I'll lose the weight or whatever that is. Well, who is the actual person you want to be? Because the thing will fade, just as the
that's
Bible
right.
says. The things
Right.
that we have of this world are not long lasting. It's
That's
who
right.
we are and who we become as a result. That's what really matters. And I don't think people think that way when they think about goals,
No.
especially here at the beginning of the year. They're like, oh, I want to accomplish this thing, which is awesome. But if
Yeah.
it's not who you are and who your what your identity is, I don't think it's as meaningful. I also don't think that you'll get anything out of it other
Yeah.
than an accomplishment.
I did the marathon, and I think as you've talked about goals, and I think it's important to everybody in leadership positions. You have a coach, if you don't mind me. That's
Oh,
fine. Do you have a
totally.
coach? Yeah, I've had people that coached me along in my life. You're part of that process now, and I just want people to understand whether it's a paid coach or something. How's that helped you get to be to where you are? Because I think it's humbling to go. I'm the CEO. I still need help.
Oh my gosh, totally. It was actually the biggest realization probably over the last few years is I was always a muscle through it kind of guy. I can do it. I can figure it out. It was my whole probably lay down a therapy couch to figure out why I'm that way, right? But the idea was because I did that for
Yeah.
years. I figured everything out. What someone said to me, well, they asked me one time, well, how much further along the path would you be if you had asked for help? It's like, oh man,
Ooh.
that hurts.
Yeah.
So I started in peer groups. I started in, I found other people who were on the same path that I was. And then I realized that I really wanted a coach. And
Mm,
being a former college athlete, I realized I was actually missing that. I
yeah.
can't figure all this out on my own. And someone has already done the thing that I'm
Right. That's
trying to
right.
do. So go ask them how they did it.
That's right.
That's the fastest shortcut. Someone asked me recently, like, if you had $100 to invest, what would you invest in?
Mm,
I was like, this is my son. He's 18
yeah.
years
Yeah. Yeah.
old.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, I would invest in me.
Mm,
It's the best thing as a young person that you can invest in.
yeah.
Invest in yourself. So, what skill could you develop? What coach could you get? What course could you take for $100 that's going to return 10 times the value? Then
Mm,
maybe you have some money to invest in the
yeah.
market.
Yeah.
Fine. But the best thing to invest in is yourself. And to me, that's been getting a business coach. And he's
Excellent.
made tremendous impact in me personally, which therefore is making impact in our company, but more
Sure.
importantly, me as a person. So in our family, in my relationships, it's not just about the business side of it. It's all of me. And that shows up in so many different ways. But yeah, hiring a coach, one of the best decisions I ever made.
That's excellent. I've had people in my life along the way. And then sometimes it was for that season, and then someone else came along. And
Yeah.
I'm getting older. So now I'm starting to coach or informally some people, and I'm 3 steps ahead of them, maybe. Or I'm
Yeah.
in this, I was a youth pastor, and now I'm meeting with my youth pastor. So how we kind of develop that, which I think is wonderful. I think it's a great teachable spirit to have as a leader.
I think there's three people you need in your life. You need someone who's further down the path. You need someone who's walking alongside you in your current state. And then there's someone who's earlier and you can help them. So if you
Mm.
could find ways to incorporate those three types of people in your world, it helps you because you're giving back and validating a lot of what you
Right.
think you know
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
younger
That's good.
generation, or I shouldn't even say younger in the thing, whatever it is. That could be
Yeah.
they could be older than you, but it could be just time in the thing, whatever your thing is.
Yeah.
Someone who's going through it so you can commiserate on exactly what it's like to be in the mix of what you're dealing with. And then somebody who's already been there or is in the
Yeah.
room where you want to be, that person. And what's amazing is I think a lot of people, when they're in that situation, they have the imposter syndrome of, oh, I'm not good enough to reach out to that person. No,
Yeah.
reach out. It's amazing how much people will want to help another person. I think it's part of our human nature to give back. You
Hmm.
just, the thing is, you have to ask the question. It's never
Yeah.
going to happen unless you do the reach out, unless you make that call, unless you send that email, send that text message, and ask the question. Hey, I have a question for you. Can you help me with this thing?
Yeah, I had an earlier mentor. He asked me, "Do you want to hang out?" I'm like, "Yeah," and it was the best thing to ever. And
Yeah.
then I just recently, last few years, I've asked somebody else younger, starting off, I said, "Do you want to hang out?" And they could have said, "No, I don't want to hang out with you," which is kind of embarrassing, whatever. He goes, "Yeah, I would love to." I'm like, "All right, let's do
Yeah.
that. I think I have something to give." And like you said, it validates some of the stuff you've been thinking through, and why not pass it along? Because someone did it to me.
Oh my gosh, totally.
Someone invested in me. Things you're thinking about for the future for yourself, maybe in the business or personally, or writing a book. You talked about that.
I
Anything
did.
we can talk about that would help you?
Here at the beginning of the year, I've been thinking a lot about what do I look like December 2026, And
Mm,
like I said, what is my identity in that period of time? What have I accomplished this year when I can look back over that year and be like, okay, those are some pretty big swings. One, I
mhm.
would like to write a book on what we're doing here in our company, not necessarily about our what we're doing, but to help the industry think through how they're adopting technology. It's something I've been
Awesome.
doing in my career for years is understanding if you're going to buy a piece of software, how does it actually work to evaluate it, test it, make sure the team's going to use it, all that kind of stuff. So it's more of a business book than anything else.
Yeah.
I'd love to get into more coaching of entrepreneurs and people, like be that person for someone else that I could have
Yeah.
used 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Taking the experience that I've built over the past 6 years as CEO of this company, how could I pass some of those lessons down? So what took me 6 years takes them 5 or 4 or 3 or 2 or 1. And
Yeah.
then also continue to invest in those relationships with people that challenge me. I want to be scared. I want to be
I want to be
challenged. So
scared.
to me, push me out of my comfort zone, keep challenging me, and then physical goals. I always want to be pushing myself in that respect too, to make sure, I'm living up to the potential that God has me.
That's excellent. Thank you, Dean. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate that. And I really love how you're investing. You're doing that now. I'll tell you, man, your encouragement to me, your encouragement to the people at Catalyst we're trying to do. And it'd be great to get more of that for you to
Yeah.
coach that. And I think a book does launch that and get your kind of thoughts through there and say to someone, here's something I've learned. I'm 4 steps ahead of you, 3 steps ahead of you, and how can I help you? So thanks,
Yeah.
Dean. Anything else to add?
No, I can't. I value our relationship for all these years. I appreciate what you do with Productive Lives and how many people you help. Anything that I can do to help you along the way, just to call and ask.
Well, being on the podcast, letting people hear some of your wisdom is cool. Thanks, Dean. I
Yep.
appreciate it, man. All
Thanks,
right.
Ken.
Dean's 3 people rule. Having someone ahead, beside, and behind you is the key to never stopping growth. Visit us at productivelife.org to see how we're putting these principles to work in Philadelphia. Until next time, keep living the productive life. Thank you for listening to the Productive Lives podcast. You can expect new episodes every Monday. And if you like the show, please subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. This helps others like you find the show. The Productive Lives podcast is supported by Productive Lives, where our mission is people serving people, and our vision is to motivate people to improve their lives and the lives of others through servant living and leadership. If you want to live a productive life and help improve the lives of others, visit our website for more information, productivelives.org. The Productive Lives podcast is produced by Studio D Podcast Production and hosted by me, Cam Garvin. I'll see you next week for more stories of resilience and conversations about lives and ideas that are productive.